Let's move now to KwaZulu-Natal, but stay with concerns about corruption, because today, 2 more people implicated in wrongdoing at a bulk water utility, Mhlathuze Water, have been arrested. The ongoing operation by the National Clean Audit Task Team and Serious Corruption Investigation brings the total arrest now to 6. Among those arrested today, the Director General in the KwaZulu-Natal Premier's office, Mhlathuze. The suspected fraud amounts to at least 40 million rand. Our senior reporter, Mhlathuze, joins me now. Desin, this is a high-profile arrest in KwaZulu-Natal, hit straight to the Premier's office. What period does it actually relate to? What actually was going on? And what prompted the Hawks investigation?
Well, Sal, this was initially this had its origins in an internal inquiry that was being conducted at Mhlathuze Water. And I'll get to the arrest of the DG in the Premier's office in a second, because you'll see the broader picture and how it ties in. But this investigation was first an internal one. It was something that was flagged by a whistleblower talking about the movement of funds, about 37 million to be exact, from Mhlathuze Water to a legal panel. So essentially paying legal representatives for their services that are rendered to Mhlathuze Water. And this was then escalated into a criminal investigation as a result of what came out of that internal inquiry. And as a result of that internal inquiry, both the CEO and the CFO were suspended, as well as other employees at Mhlathuze Water. And ever since the Hawks were investigating, they were then putting together this case, which ultimately now led to the arrest of the CEO, the suspended CEO, I must add, as well as the Director General at the Premier's office. Now, interestingly, where the Director General comes into the mix is because she and an accomplice were allegedly linked to the intimidation of the chair of the Mhlathuze Water Board. They're also charged with defeating the ends of justice. Now, this relates to an incident where there was an imposter that had approached the chair and said that they were from the National Intelligence Agency and that the chair should end the investigation that she was currently busy with, as well as destroy the forensic report that had implicated the CEO, the CFO, and others. But it was later discovered that this person was, in fact, obviously not from the NIA. That's the link to the Premier's office. That's the link to the DG there. Obviously, this now raises questions about the safety of the chair, because it seems like because she was seen to be the one that was spearheading this investigation, who flagged these issues, it's obviously a matter of concern. I had an opportunity to speak to Siyabonga Mapumulo from the Mhlathuze Water Board, and I asked him about that. Let's listen to what he had to say.
This is an issue that has from the get-go received all the necessary attention from the board of Mhlathuze Water. There has been the necessary continuity measures put in place, and it is not true that the amount that you have alluded to, no action is being taken. In fact, we have come this far precisely because when this issue first came to the attention of the Water Board via a whistleblower, an investigation was then instituted to get to the nub of this issue. And we do believe that it is precisely because of the outcomes of those preliminary forensic investigations that we are then able to take this issue forward.
Am I right, Desin? It goes right back to 2014?
That's correct. This has been ongoing for a while, but I think there's been renewed impetus, if I could call it that, Sal, because the investigation, the internal one, started late last year, and that's where we got to this point. But the fraud that amounted to over 30-odd million has been going on for several years now, and that's how we got to this point. But I'm also told that that investigation is not over. So the internal probe is nearing finalization, but from what we can see, there's a possibility that other people could be implicated as well.
I see. And the area, Mhlathuze, it's around the Richards Bay area, I think you mentioned it to me. So can you draw a line between the suspected criminal activity and a problem with service delivery to water in those areas?
Well, first, let's look at what Mhlathuze Water is responsible for. It's one of two such boards in KwaZulu-Natal, the other being Mgeni Water. In fact, there are talks to merge both of these bodies. That was something the Water and Sanitation Minister was talking about just recently. So effectively having one body that's responsible for water provision across the province. But Mhlathuze itself deals with a lot of the clients that come from the factories around the Richards Bay area, things like Foscor, for example, but they also deal with the city of Mhlathuze. So we've been assured now by the Mhlathuze Water Board that this money that has effectively gone down the drain, the 30-odd million, won't impact the service delivery in that area. Now, this is something that they have assured us won't happen, but obviously we'll have to watch quite closely. But effectively, it just shows that in a province where we have issues around water infrastructure and water provision, that we have this level of corruption taking place at the entities that are responsible for the provision of that water. And that's really concerning in itself.
All right, let's take a listen.
Dessen, I would really not like to broach into issues that are specific to the safety of the chairperson, but what I can reassure the viewers at home as well as the stakeholders of Mhlathuze Water, particularly our industrial clients as well as the municipalities that we serve, is that it is business as usual. The chairperson of the board of Mhlathuze Water, as we speak, is on the ground executing Mhlathuze Water's mandate. Has always been the case. We would not like to really go into the depth of the allegations of safety threats and the SIU people opposing as SIU representatives. That is an issue which rightfully the Hawks have pronounced upon, and we believe that they are taking the necessary measures on those allegations.
Very worrying, but progress seems to be made. Thank you so much, ENCA senior reporter Dessen Mhlathuze coming to us from Durban.